All right. Chat with that. I'm ready to rock. The Seattle Kraken, their second season. What a song on this random playlist to get us hyped up. I'm excited for this, though. Again, interesting team we have. We lost a lot of guys in free agency. We signed a lot of guys in free agency. Carey Price, Trouba, OEL, after those two were bought out by their teams. I mean, it's an interesting team. The forward core, in theory, could be a little bit weak. Right now, our coach has Osterley, Jenner, and Hutsko scratch, but McCann, Carlson, Palmieri, Mikheyev, Rossi, Atkinson, Andreas Janssen, Johan Larsson, and Nikita Gusev, Anton Slepyshev, Nolan Patrick, and Philip Hedel. Defense is OEL Trouba, Letty, McDonough, Fowler, and Addison. Carey Price is our goalie. We are going to see how this team plays, and if they can't get the job done, we tear it down. If they can, then we add to it and we see what happens. And the goal is to win a cup as soon as possible. But also, if we can consistently have ourselves set up to compete year in and year out, there is really no reason to not do that. We're off to a nice little 0-2 start for the beginning of the season, so not great, but we'll, try to make the best of it. We'll try. Alright. Make that 0-3. Not the finest of starts. Unfortunately, now 1-3. Well, hey, we got a long way to go. Oh, that is a weird little cut there. That's okay. Get half of the OBS screen in view. I was going to move myself back to the middle. That way, nothing's cut off for you guys. There we go. That works. PGH, I'd say they're solid. For the most part. I mean, Jake Gensel has, it's Pittsburgh. 13 points in 6 games. There are some guys that are off to a ridiculously fast start here. We're down to 2-6, though, getting close to November. Not ideal in the slightest, I would say. Not ideal. Yeah, granted, 3-6, right? It's a little bit too early to tell exactly what the hell we're going to do. But if I had to guess, we probably will be blowing it up and not going for the cup this year. And again, last year we made the playoffs in our inaugural season. We got Winnipegged in the first round. But, maybe, just maybe, this team can come together. We'll see how we do as well, despite the coaching change. That was the big thing, right? I wanted to keep Gerard Gallant, but he refused to start Andrei Vasilevsky in the playoffs last year. So it's like, yeah, no, we got to switch this up. All right, so what do we got? Timo Meier picked up a 7-game suspension. Panarin hit 6 points. Patrick Kane, 3-week injury, hit 1,200 points. Goodrow hit 600. The Oilers and Mikko Koskinen agreed to dissolve his contract, so Mikko was a free agent. I mean, he had a 920. He just wasn't happy playing in the AHL, basically. When and will the NFL version of this game come out? I have no idea. That's the one thing that's missing, though, right? We got baseball. I don't think we have a basketball version, though, either. Tavares hits 500 assists. We lost Cam Atkinson for 9 weeks. That doesn't help. That doesn't help our struggles here. At all. Hampus Lindholm, ruptured foot tendon. He'll be out for 4 months. Panarin, broken pelvis. Jakub Vrana was traded to Boston for prospect Roman Schmidt. A defenseman 6'5" out of Boston University. So Vrana traded. Only had 12 points in 9 games to start the year for the Caps, and they decided to trade him for a future big. And we get the scouting report. Our scout still has Matvei Michkov as the number 1 in this draft. Where I've poked around with it, but I haven't played a ton of it. Trust me, I know. There's some people who are just like, you should play this and Out of the Park and Football Manager, and that's it. I wouldn't totally disagree about that. Just don't have to roster it on this. I don't agree with every rating they have, but still. So right now, we're at 4 and 7. I do want to make the change of sending Atkinson to our injured list. And we will look to call up probably Graham Clark. Isaac Rosen's up to 2.5 star. But again, I thought he could do with one more season over in Sweden. He has 5 points in 7 games. So Isaac Rosen's going to be ready to go next year, which is going to be really nice. Let's just call up... Again, we're leaving a lot of our top prospects in the minors right now. Let's just call up... I don't know, it doesn't even really matter. Let's just call up Graham Clark. And we'll just give him a chance to chill. So our team right now is Mikheyev, Rossi, Palmieri, McCann, Carlson, Gusev, Janssen, Patrick Hutsko, Jenner, Larson, Hedel. Playing Logan Hutsko, huh? OEL, Trouba, Letty McDonough, Fowler, and Addison. It's not too bad. Let's keep simming here. I mean, we're only heading into November. We still have a long way to go to really see just what we, what we have to do here with this team and whether or not we're going to blow it up or not. Again, if we do, we have some great prospects that we can call up for the rest of the season, perhaps, and at the very least, great prospects to fill out the team. And you got to figure, if we were to blow it up, we wouldn't be bad for very long. As Rossi gets some decent improvement, Ethan Brown, Ryan Francis. A lot of improvement, because of course we had a lot of young players. Kyle Connor and Jonas Corpusalo, the players of the month in October. Football game was canceled in June. They didn't have the resources. To be honest, that's right. They did announce a football game, didn't they? I didn't even remember that. Can you relocate Phoenix to Quebec? We could. Will I? Probably not. Probably not. Pool party. Fractured larynx out for 5 months. That sucks. Stamkos hit 500 goals. And Daniel Sprong has signed with the Washington Capitals. Fair enough. Again, we just have to sim. That's all. All we can really do right now is just sim away and wait to see what happens. What is our destiny? What hand are we going to be dealt here? Anaheim, by the way, lower than we are on the totem pole, despite winning the Stanley Cup last year. So, go figure. Go figure. 5-9 through 14 games, though, is not the promising start. Make that 5-10. I don't really like our chances here. I really don't. By the way, it's showing Matt Villalta there because it means he played in the NHL but was sent down. And that's the current team that he's on. So. And some hype music to go with for a team that's not so hype right now. 7-10. Yeah, Thor, the big thing is just the sim speed and the amount of stuff going on. Obviously, like what your computer's doing at the same time. And then also the fact that there's a lot more information loading in the background here than you have with, like, say, an NHL. So obviously, too, me streaming takes a little bit of a hit on the PC processing power, even though I got a pretty solid PC. I mean, we're up to 10-12. We're winning games all of a sudden. But, again, like, if we're in that 50-50 scenario, right, of being like, oh, well, we could buy or we could sell, we're going to sell. No doubt. As Kavlenieks goes to the Golden Knights. Isaac Lundstrom was on waivers, and I missed it. Probably wouldn't. done anything. Nick Hansen was claimed off waivers. Kale Grigorenko was dealt 1-for-1 for Hayden Fleury. He had 3 points in 14 games. Fleury had 5 in 13. All right. Hunter Drew has left the Ducks. Alex Lintoniemi was traded for Brendan Dillon. That's a pretty big win in theory there for Carolina. Max Comtois was put through waivers. Claimed by Minnesota. Nolan Patrick's going to miss 2 weeks. Am I going to stream tomorrow? Probably. Just trying to figure out my plans for the upcoming week, but more than likely I'll be streaming. Tomorrow too. So yeah, we're going to see what happens with this damn team. I want to know. I want to know. Up to 11-12, we have a decent little winning streak going. Like I said, right now we're leaning towards tank. This team needs to prove that they can comfortably make the playoffs and compete, or we're blowing it up. Malkin hit 1,200 points. Kopitar hit 1,250. Games played. Tavares at 1,000. Arvidsson's out for the season with a ruptured biceps tendon. Vander Kane hit 600 points. And Paquette, fractured fibula. He's going to be out for 3 months. Wonder how the team's doing right now. Let's take a look. So, I mean, in terms of the game rating, OEL's been great. Carey Price has been pretty damn good, too. Graham Clark, Philip Hedl, Logan Hutsko have been awful. Johan Larsson's actually just been average. Slapishev, Patrick hasn't been great. Gusev hasn't been great. Guys like Palmieri, Trouba, Mikheyev, just pretty disappointing to have those game ratings be in the orange. Yeah, that's a rough time. William Karlsson and Marco Rossi, 17 points in 23 games each, leading the team. Aside from that, it's not good. Cam Fowler has 4 points in 18 games. Yeah, we're definitely leaning towards blowing it up. So game rating is just, kind of like their general, like, hey, here's how... Like an overall rating for how they've played this year. You get your offensive rating and your defensive rating, where Nicoletti defensively has been amazing, but offensively, for some reason, he struggled. Which is the complete inverse of what you would suspect him to do. But, what are you going to do? We are almost into December, and despite the fact that we're just 5 points off of the top spot in the conference, I am definitely leaning towards blowing it up. Definitely leaning towards blowing it up here. We do have a couple injuries, though. Michkov still number 1. Connor Bedard apparently 4th for Brian Miller. Interesting how our scout has some of these rankings. Our top scout, I should say. Oh, boy. So 12-13, not a single overtime or shootout loss, which really sucks. Obviously, the lack of being able to pick up any points. We are one of just 3 teams this season that doesn't have an overtime loss. Development report. Good improvement from Graham Clark, Anthony Aquano, Marco Rossi. Big improvement for Ratu. Improvements across the board. Max Nemesnikov, +1 in 3 different stats. That's not bad. Mark Scheifele and Korpisalo again. So Korpisalo really looking like the top goalie here, and Winnipeg looking very strong in terms of their offensive output. OEL and Jenner are good. Only guy on the injury list is Cam Atkinson, though. So that is up to the coach. Nolan Patrick is hurt. Day to day. That's not surprising. There's a good chance I'm going to do what you mentioned in terms of dropping the Kucherov salary for the season. That is probably the right way to go. I need to see, though, who they'd possibly cut at the start of a franchise sim. You know? Atkinson's almost back. I'm having another game coming up here against Edmonton. Kari's going to be out. You know what we're going to do? We're going to... Wow, Do Not Disturb is on, huh? You wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know it. Keep getting those alerts from the personal messages. Because if you don't drop your drop/dead on deals. Yeah. So, I mean, you know, you got to do something. Furman, I mean, you know, Rosen could make the team. We got a decent amount of guys who can make the team, for sure. Let's turn off the personal message here. Let's just get to January 1st. That'll be the big date for us. AJ, feel free. Raspberry, take it easy. We will catch you later. $14 and $15. Yeah, we are leaning towards blowing this bad boy up. We are leaning towards blowing this bad boy up. 31 games in, we're on 28 points, 9 points behind the Vegas Golden Knights. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where you gotta do what you gotta do, right? To try and normalize it because of the game's limitations. Alright, McAtkinson is good to go. Get him back on our active roster. We will send Graham Clark back to the Palm Springs Bitch Pigeons. We are almost to January 1st. I just don't trust this. Like, it's a very close division, but the lack... I mean, we have one overtime point. We're on 31 points. I mean, Zexus, it would be nice. It's something that, you know, the franchise GCs, myself included, have suggested. This game came out about 2 weeks ago, Nelson, I think. Week and a half, 2 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we're not gonna make it. We are not gonna make it here. Bad news. Bad news. 37 points. I mean, we're just so middle of the road right now. Like, we don't want to be in the spot of, well, we could make the playoffs and maybe. No, Ovi did not retire. He is on New Jersey, though. Happy? I don't know, because he's on New Jersey. Alright, a lot of emails here on January 1st. What do we got to catch up on here? 600 points for Josh Bailey. Vitaly Kravtsov was claimed off waivers by Carolina because I was just so focused on simming. Skinner hit 600 points. O'Reilly and Ben hit 1,000 games. 300 goals for Cooch. Kopitar up for 4 weeks. The World Juniors have begun. It's Germany, Latvia, Canada, Sweden, Russia, Slovakia, Belarus, Finland, the U.S., and the Czechs. This is what the U.S. team looks like. Luke Hughes, Chaz Lucius leading the way. Jeremy Wilmer. A lot of familiar names. Because I know people will ask. Canada. Zach LaRue, Zach Bolduc, Matt Savoy, Logan Stankoven, Josh Watt, Dylan Genther, Peter Reynolds. Pretty damn good team. Pretty damn good team. Benoit Olivier Giroux was traded for a third. Carl Hagelin was dealt 1-for-1 for Gustav Nyquist. Our scout still has Matt Michkov at number 1. Then we got the players poll for the end of the season. Nathan McKinnon was voted best skater. Dougie Hamilton with the hardest shot. Smartest was Giroux. Toughest Ross Johnston. McDavid voted as the fastest. Best role model Morgan Riley. Cleanest Marcus Niederbauer. Toughest goalie John Gibson. And the coach you'd most like to play for, Bruce Cassidy. In Boston, in terms of our development, got a couple of guys here with some 2s. Big improvement for Ty Jackson with a +4. +4 for Jan Seacart as well. Very good. David and Tristan Jarry, top players. So right now, we are on 37 points. LA's on 45. I don't know, man. Our offense is not great, which isn't surprising. And it's just the question of, do we want to give up? Like, do we trust this team? Do we trust this team, even though Carey Price have been pretty solid, OEL and Hogberg? Our goaltending's been great. Do we trust that if we give up assets for this team, that they would be able to get it done in the playoffs? I don't. I really don't. Like, you know, our defense, like our top 3 defenders in Letty, OEL, and Fowler have been great. Osterley, McDonough, Trouba have been like okay. Addison just hasn't really been ready for prime time. It's just been that lack of offense. But how easily are we going to be able to fix the offense? Alright. Let's, first player we're going to shop here is Nolan Patrick. I love him, but he's been pretty brutal. Let's see what we could get for Nolan Patrick. And we start off with 19-year-old defenseman Evan Naus. It's only 2-star potential and a 7th from Montreal. Boston would offer Boko Amama in a 7th. I'm going to say no to Boko. He has 2 points in 21 games for the Bruins this year. Chicago offering Wyatt Kaiser, 2.5-star defenseman in terms of potential. 18 points in 30 games for Rockford. So far, Chicago has the best deal. Just to move on from Nolan because it's not working. Detroit offering Dmytro Timashov in a 7th. No. New York with Ryan Lindgren. It's also going to be a no for me. The Kings, Henry Wilson, 2.5-star. 17 points in 15 games in the queue. Playing for Halifax. I like that. I like that for Wilson. So it's either Wilson or Kaiser. And I think I like that Henry Wilson deal more. Dallas, Nick Camano. 13 points in 39 games. I'm going to say no to that. Yeah, Nolan has about the same. A little bit better of a pace. Philly with Connor Bunneman, who's playing in the ECHL and the AHL, so that's a no. St. Louis, Artyom Grushnikov. Has 8 points in 27 games for the Blues this year. I'm going to say no to that. Buffalo, Tim Gettinger in the 7th. No. Vancouver, Carson Phillips. Nah. Calgary, Dimitros Kumantzis. No. Josh Manson. 13 points in 40 games for the Islanders. Problem is, again, we don't really need defense in theory. David Gustafsson, 2-star, 2.5 potential. I mean, it's tough to say that Gustafsson/Gustafsson here isn't the guy. Already a 2-star, so he's an NHL talent. Has the same potential as Wilson. I mean, obviously, we'd be missing out on the deal with Patrick, but, you know, it's just in terms of the overall, I mean, they're the same, basically the same, a little bit less potential. I'll be shopping a 24-year-old, because why not? He's terrible. Cody Clark, also available. Elliot Lavoie, or Lavoie, whatever. 26 points in 22 games, it's not bad. I'm hoping a team that, like, they're clearly some decent players available, but I'm hoping. A third-round pick from Arizona. Was hoping to see something here that would really win me over. And I'm not really seeing that. I'm only seeing, like, oh yeah, we could go for that guy, but it's not a major win for us. You don't really want to be dealing at a loss. There we go. Michael Mancinelli. I mean, he's 21, but he does have 3-star potential. He's 21 years old, only has 2 points in the HLC. He'd be a pretty big risk, but Michael Mancinelli is my favorite so far. It's between someone like Mancinelli or Gustafson out of New Jersey. Again, Gustafson is just as good currently. Doesn't have as good a potential as Nolan, but obviously, like, Nolan's just, he's not cutting it. I know he had 44 points last year, but honestly, he was kind of dragged to that anyway. I was hoping to see something a little bit better for Nolan in terms of the offers, but it's just not there. And again, you look at the game ratings this season, Nolan's at a 57. Like, he is just not... He's just not good. It's just not great. Expiring deal at the end of the year. He already wants he's already making 2.4. He's got, yeah, he wants a raise next year too. He's got to go. Gotta go. No doubt about it. So the big question is, potential-wise, do we go for Mancinelli, who has the highest potential out of the gates, but is a bit lower of an overall, or do we go for someone who can make a bit of an impact now in David Gustafson? Projects to be a third-line player in the current league. He compares to Nolan Patrick. Good defensive player, above average strength, good skating. Not the most physical. Someone who's just strong defensively. He's not the best skater in the world. He's just an average, well-rounded player. Good face-off man. Best rolls, playmaker is a 14, two-way is a 15, back-checking forward. That's not too bad for a bottom 6 option. You could do worse than David Gustafson. And then again, Columbus has Michael Mancinelli, who has never been the biggest point getter. Obviously, a far way off. They're saying he could be a Cam Atkinson at his best. I think we're going to go for the Gustafson trade. We're going to try to modify it a little bit to get a little bit more back for Patrick. But, yeah, just Nolan's got to go. We know we're not going to re-sign him. Honestly, though, the last time we tried to negotiate, a team tried to back out of it. But in that case, I'll just force it through for what the initial offer is. So, yeah, I mean, I'll force the trade through if I have to. Just make sure the manager options are on. Alright, cool, and then we'll go back. New Jersey, Gustafson, discuss the trade. Okay, so let's just see if we can get a little bit more back in the deal in terms of like draft picks. Third rounder, they say, is well balanced. So I offered it. We don't know yet. We'll move forward a little bit to see if that goes through. Next up in terms of shopping is Nikita Gusev. 2 years left at $2 million, but he has, like, the offense has just been okay. He's got 17 points in 37 games. Andreas Jansson's also on an expiring deal, and he's going to want to raise next year. Andreas Janssen, let's shop you. Let's see what we can get here for Andreas Janssen. So we'd be looking at Hayden Verbeek. Yikes. And Janssen is a 2.5-star player. Boston offering Chris Wagner. Yikes. Decent bottom 6 option, though. Chicago with Sean Quenneville. Detroit. Ooh, Detroit's offering Blake Coleman. He only has 12 points in 26 games, but Blake Coleman for Andreas Janssen I like. Nathan Walker. Jordy Bellerive. Casey Fitzgerald. Gerald has 14 points in 38 games this year. Jet Wu. Ooh, Blake Coleman or Jet Wu. He's 22. 16 points in 40 AHL games this year. Right now it's between Coleman and Wu. Oliver Sheelington there as well. Has barely gotten to play at the NHL level, but has 14 points in 9 games. Also has 16 penalty minutes. If we wanted a younger defenseman. Kyle Turris, no thank you. Tyler Weiss. 4th rounder. Nick Mellock, Jeremy Bracco, no thank you. Andreas Borgman, Mitch Stevens, and Maxime Fortier. So it comes down to the Calgary offer of Sheelington. If we just wanted a defenseman to replace the defenseman that we're going to be sending out. Jet Wu as a future. And Jet Wu has a higher ceiling than Sheelington. It comes down to Jet Wu or Blake Coleman. I'm feeling the trade for Jet Wu. Get rid of Janssen, bank on Jet Wu developing. I'm going to accept that. And that's signed, sealed, delivered. We have traded Andreas Janssen, who's on an expiring deal, 18 points in 37 games, for Jet Wu. So I am happy with that particular trade. We do not have to put Wu through waivers to send him down to the Palm Springs Pitch Pigeons either. And then our last shopping option for the moment. Honestly, I'm ready to cash out on Filip Hedl. Get something for him while we can. Not happy with him this season. How'd he do last year? 28 points in 64 games last year. Yeah, I think if we can cash out on Filip Hedl, we should. So let's shop him as well and see what we get. Montreal's offering a 3rd. I don't hate that. Boston's offering Cam Hughes. Yeah, still playing in the ECHL. Cam Morrison. That's going to be a no. Gustav Lindstrom. That 3rd rounder might be what we go with. Brandon Crawley. 3rd rounder from the Kings. 18-year-old Sam Alfano. So an 18-year-old player there from Dallas could be nice. He doesn't have the highest potential in the world, but he could develop. They've also been playing him in the NHL this year, which is insane. But Sam Alfano. Jack St. Ivani. Aiden Preuter. I do like that Dallas offer. Jacob Bryson. Jace Howerlock. Josh Nodler. Scott Mayfield. Case McCarthy. I still like that option for that younger player that we can hopefully just mold by having a really good system. Adam Larson. Steven Lorentz. 3rd. Philippe Adaust. Absolutely not. Ethan Bowen. Tyler Renamoto. 3rd. Declan Chisholm. No, Goofy, plus minus in and of itself makes it a dumb stat. It's a very dumb stat. At Big Guskov. I like that deal from Dallas. We get a player here that we might just be able to kind of mold and turn into a decent option for someone that's really not working out. He's pretty well-rounded now as it stands. I got you, Donna. Strongest part of the game is defensive play. Not the most physical. Honestly, I like this deal for Alfano. It's a pretty big risk, but again, I'm just not digging Filip Hedl at this point. He hasn't worked. It doesn't look like we can get anything more for him. Let's bank on this. We'll try to discuss it and add a little bit more. We'll see if an extra 4th would be taken. So we'll sim forward a day or two, wait for the responses to this, and hope for the best. Hope for the best indeed. Just next day. Thank you. Hello, Davos. 2020 has been the fucking worst, dog. What a horrible, horrible goddamn year. A horrible, horrible year. Barkov hit 600 points. Bogdan's Hodas. What a name. Alright, Connor Bedard. According to Bob, Kilminster is the top option in the draft, though. Go figure. Do we trust essentially essential scouting, or do we trust somebody else? Roman Yossi is now eligible to play for the United States, as is Carl Hagelin, Dmitry Orlov, Moritz Seider. Oh, poor Germany. They're going to lose Moritz Seider in international play. That's a damn shame. Oh, boy. Let's keep moving here. 19-18-1, but again, I just don't trust this team to be able to get it done. Isaac Rosen's now right winger. So the group stage of the World Juniors have finished. Canada plays Belarus, the Czechs play the Germans, US plays Sweden, and Russia plays Finland. So Dallas has rejected that extra fourth rounder being in. So we are just going to force trade this one through. Hedel for Alfano, as we had previously agreed upon. So we have dealt Philip Hedel. Just tired of him. So Sam Alfano, we are going to loan to the OHL with Peterborough for the rest of the season. Can I send down Kalen Addison? I can. Kalen, I'm not overly happy with you this season. So we have Jordan Osterley. Let's call up Mikko Lehtinen as well. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Need to call up 2 guys to be healthy scratches. I want to save some of our better prospects here. So it's kind of a tough call. Let's go for... let's go actually for Cole Fonstad and Joseph Garefa. Call up those 2. Yeah, the forward lines are obviously going to be a little bit brutal right now, but that is okay. Send it the next day and wait to hear back about this this Nolan Patrick trade, as we slowly try to tear this team down heading towards the deadline. So the Devils said no to that extra third. I'm just going to take it. Again, David Gustafson for Nolan Patrick is a done deal. Say goodbye to Nolan. Say hello to David. Just got tired of Nolan Patrick. Not, just not cutting it. Hate to see Nolan Patrick. I know, Davos, aren't the responses the best? Okay, so we do have our next few shop options. Big question here. I hate to say it, but Johan Larsson hasn't gotten it done in his first season here. We're going to shop him and see if we can get anything interesting back. 3rd round pick I'd be willing to take. Boston offering Chris Wagner. I'd rather have the 3rd. Chicago offering Andre Altai-Barmakian. 24 years old, probably not enough time to develop. Adam Ernie, that's a no. Anthony Duclair. Anthony Duclair for Johan Larsson. Interesting. Kings offering a 3rd. Kings have 47 points. Montreal has 46, so let's get rid of Montreal's offer. Dallas also offering a 3rd. They have 32 points. So I like that deal. Philly with Jay O'Brien. That's another interesting one. Tanner Kaspick, I'm going to say no to. Bryson, I'm going to say no to. Zach McEwen. Dylan Dubé. Really hit, man. Dylan Dubé's down in the ECHL. That's rough. Anthony Beauvillier. That is the new favorite. Anthony Beauvillier for Johan Larsson. That is going to be tough to beat. Very tough to beat. Devils offering Riley Walsh. Ooh. That's worth considering, but man, Beauvillier. Carson Torinsky. Chris Tierney. I like Beauvillier more than Tierney. Stephen Lorentz. Third. Jonas Koppinen. Derek Grant. Just move on before the Ducks fans demand it. Third rounder, Jack Roslovich. I think we got our trade here. Out of nowhere, the Islanders willing to move on from Anthony Beauvillier, so we're going to cash out on Johan Larsson and accept that deal. And bring in Anthony Beauvillier. I will complete that trade. Thank you very much. I hate to say that Johan Larsson wasn't working, but Beauvillier could be a decent piece for us here. For a decent part of, the future. Hate to say the next one, but Ryan McDonough. I don't know if I'll even be able to move him. I'm not allowed to shop him. He has a no trade clause, but not a no movement clause. Yeah, Colton, it happens. Just keep trying to refresh it. It's just the site. It's a pain in the ass. I'm going to place Ryan McDonough on the block and see if we get any offers. And then Nikita Gusev. I mean, you're on a really good deal. He had 46 points last year, which isn't that bad. But I'm gonna at least see what we can get for Gusev. We might as well at least double check. So Toronto's only offering a fourth. Like Mitch Chaffee, I should say, 2-star player. A fourth. Andre Padan. That's a name I haven't heard in forever. Guillaume Brisebois. Alex Yellison. There is not much value here for Nikita Gusev. And it's at that point where you have to just say, okay, is it better to just keep him in our lineup? Give a shot to Austin Wong. Dmitry Sokolov. I mean, a 4th round pick for Gusev, we might as well just keep him at that price and hope he can turn it around. So Nikita gets to stay. I'm not limited to just doing this through the trade finder, but I mean, damn. Since we're selling, it makes sense to just use the trade finder feature, essentially. Kyle Palmieri on an expiring deal, making almost $5 million. Is going to want over $5 million next year. Kyle Palmieri, we got to shop him. He'll be our final player that we shop today. Just out of pure necessity. So, Lucas Vedamo. His NHL caliber. Only has 7 points in 39 games this year. Boston's offering John Moore. No. Tanner Pearson. 2.5-star, 14 points. Trade offering Dennis Cholowski. I like that offer. Dennis Cholowski. Rangers offering Julian Gauthier in a 7th. Phil Kessel. Now in Los Angeles at 35 years old. Phil Kessel. No thanks. Let's see. Dallas offering 20-year-old Simon Knack, who is 2.5-star. I don't hate that. Simon Knack in a 5th is pretty decent. Philly offering German Rubtsov. That's also pretty decent. St. Louis offering Jordan Kyrou. Baseball fan, what's up, buddy? Don't worry about it. Kyrou, though, just not looking like he's ever going to reach his top ability. So Seattle's, you do need to use the editor for them, but it's not that complicated. Theo Anjasfed. We got a couple of decent options here. Adam Gaudette. I'm going to say no to. I like some of the other options. Johannes Kinval. Kiefer Bellows. 19 points in 22 games in the NHL this year. Jake Wallman, I'm going to say, he's actually not that bad. Garnet Hathaway is a no. Brandon Sutter is a definite no. Mark Giordano, I mean, we let you go for a reason. 3rd rounder, Max Latunoff in a 7th, Jonathan Davidson, no. Derek Grant, no. Jesper Foss, no. Cody Curran, no. Christian Reichel. Columbus offering Gabe Carlson in the 6th. And then Brendan Gooley. So, we have Vedamo, which I didn't like. John Moore, Tanner Pearson. So, we're going to let go of Palmieri. Cholowski has 3-star potential, but he's 24. He's played in 40 NHL games this year. Simon Knack would be the just hope he develops beyond what he is so far, and we also get a 5th. So Cholowski's more of a sure thing. He's an NHLer right now. Knack could be, could develop into something. And we'd get a 5th rounder as well, which we could use to obviously trade up in the draft. Rubtsov. I mean, at that point, you just go for Cholowski. Same with Cairo, you just go for Cholowski. I don't know, Frank. It's going to happen soon, right? Anjasved. Kiefer Bellows, I don't hate. Or we just outright go for a 3rd round pick for Palmieri. I think we're going to take back Dennis Cholowski for Kyle Palmieri. That's a pretty fair deal. Let's make that deal with Detroit. And move on from one Kyle Palmieri. We'll move on to the next day as we continue to kind of blow this team up and shuffle around the deck a little bit. I mean, CMYK, there's no great spot to put the webcam on this. Something's always being overlooked. What year is it? 2023. So it's still right there. Stamkos at 1,000 games. Beauvillier. And give him his number 18. And now we are allowed to shop players again. So Cholowski being here. Let's see. Again, we got McDonough on the trade block. Hopefully we get an offer. We didn't, aren't going to get much for Gusev. Excuse me. Trouba. Signed him this year. I'm not overly impressed. We might as well see what we can get for him because he's going to look for even more money next year. So let's see what we could get for Jacob Trouba. A lot of offers in for Trouba. Noah Juleson in a 7th. Oscar Lindblom. Not the worst idea. Boston with Shellman. He's also a 2.5-star. Pius Suter. That's going to be a no. Woo! Robert Mastrosimone. 3.5-star potential. All right. Well, Detroit has my favorite option. Yzerman's a big fan of Jacob Trouba, apparently. And in fairness, nothing's really being cut off aside from the team record at the time. That's all. All right. I really like that offer from the Red Wings. That's going to be tough to beat. Riley Tufte certainly doesn't beat it. Rubtsov doesn't beat it. Anthony Angelo. King. Miska. Nope. Even with that 6th. Manukian. Nope. Dylan DeBay. Scott Mayfield. Michael McLeod. Jordan Martinook. I think we have our deal with Detroit. That is too good to pass up. Even though Dominic Bach is NHL ready now, he doesn't have the ceiling of Mastrosimone.
Oh, good for you!
CMRK, thank you for the follow, by the way. Tyrell Bauer. Ooh, 3-star defenseman and a 5th rounder. Okay, chat, we have an option here. We either go for this 3-star defenseman, he's 20 years old, and a 5th round pick. Or we go for that Detroit offer with 3.5-star NHL. I mean, he's NHL ready now. It's got to be Mastrosimone. 20 points in 21 AHL games. We got to take that. Trouba was just a random signing. He was bought out by the Rangers. We picked him up for kind of cheap on a 1-year deal. He has 17 points in 39 games, but his actual, his impact, his game rating's pretty low. He's going to want more money next year. I think we're good to move on from Trouba. And let's pick up Robert Mastrosimone here from Detroit. Quick and easy. And again, he could stay on the roster if we needed him to. Let's see. He definitely hasn't been an NHLer this year, though. Next up, Jared McCann. Just signed a 3-year, $5 million deal. Had 39 points with us last year. Does have 19 points in 39 games. But defensively, he's been rough. He has been rough. In terms of expiring deals, Jordan Esterle has actually been pretty damn good. The other big one's Carey Price, who's been great. He's going to want about $7 million next year as well. So Carey Price is going to want a raise. He's 35. We need to at least see what we can get for Price to see if it's worth keeping a 35-year-old goalie, right? Montreal would take him back for Noah Juleson and a 5th. So that'd be pretty funny. Toronto, John Fusco. Ooh, John Fusco. Ooh, sending Carey Price to Toronto would be hilarious. Boston, Anton Bleed in a 5th. Nah. Chicago would give us a 3rd. Detroit would give us Keith Petruzzelli. He's only a half-star at 23 years old. That's going to have to be a no. Unless he's a real late bloomer. He's doing well in the AHL, though. Has a 9-15 in 10 games. Rangers. Ooh, Oliver Tarnstrom. We actually saw an NHL 21 tonight. Oliver Tarnstrom in a 4th is a pretty good deal for Price. Like, I like him. Under $7 million is good, but do we really want a 35-year-old goalie? I don't think we do. Don't think we do. Zach Fucale for Carey Price. That's the way to do it. Ronan Seeley, not as good as the other guy. Josh Anderson, not that one. Riley Piercy, eh. Yeah, great value. The problem with trying to package them, though, is the amount of money, and honestly, it doesn't always boost up. It doesn't always boost up the trade value. Teams are a little bit weird about this in terms of packaging multiple players together. You're not wrong. I mean, we could retain salary on them. We could have done that with a couple of other options. I just wanted to see what options we were getting. I mean, and we have gotten options for a 3-star player. So let me go take a look here then and see if there are like any high potential dudes higher than 3-star on the trade block, not named Silverberg, that would really help us out. Because otherwise, I do find in this, teams don't really like to trade their prospects. Go figure. It's a tough sell. Brandon Tanev. So no team's really trying to move on from any great players. We'd have to sit here and say, okay, who's looking for a goalie, essentially? So obviously we have Price. St. Louis goaltending's been good. Tampa's been fine. Is there a team that's just had, like, garbage goaltending? And the answer appears to be no. Columbus, I mean, Korpisalo's kind of dropped off a bit, but he's way too expensive. Yeah, Detroit with Malcolm Subban and Eliasson, but Subban's been pretty good too. LA could use the Carey Price. The LA Kings could use a Carey Price. They are, I'd say, the main team that comes to mind in terms of needing a goaltender. So then the question is, if we were to trade Carey out to the LA Kings, would there even be anybody that we could get that would make it worth it? So Carey Price, we'd obviously retain 50% for the year. If we go to Kings players, in fairness, they do have this young goalie who has a shitload of value. They wouldn't do it for him. They wouldn't do it for Quentin Byfield. Kaliev. What about Matt Guzda? Yeah, no, it's not going to happen. Like, even if we added in Jared McCann, Yeah, they wouldn't be able to accept that much cap. So if we're going to trade Carey Price, which again, it makes sense. He's 35. We're probably not going to be right back in cup contention next year. Oliver Tarnstrom and a 4th is our best deal, even if we were to trade him to Toronto for the memes. Let's take a look at Tarnstrom here. Has 16 points in 44 AHL games, which is okay. Already has decent puck handling and shooting accuracy. Saying he could become a Cam Atkinson type. I think we have our deal, chat. Not that I want to get rid of Carey, but it makes sense. Expiring deal, he's going to want to raise, he's going to be a year older. We probably aren't going to make the playoffs. We could hold out. Maybe hold on. See what happens. I mean, we have some other players that we need to move on from. Master Simone needs to be sent down to the AHL. These dudes are depth options anyway. Gusev's going to stay. We could see what kind of... I at least need to see what we would get for Jared McCann. 3rd rounder from Montreal. Nick Aubé-Kubel. Dylan Strome. 16 points in 41 games. McCann obviously has a higher overall. Yevgeny Svechnikov. Brendan Lemieux. Sean Dursey. Radek Faksa. JVR at 33. Sammy Blais. Jack Quinn. You know, Jack Quinn for Jared McCann's an interesting one. They had the same potential. Quinn is an NHLer. There's 14 points in 40 games this year. That's tough to turn down. Even though McCann put up 39 points for us last year, he's on pace for about the same point total. He makes almost $5 million bucks, though. That Buffalo deal to get Jack Quinn might be too good to turn down. Giordano again. Yeah, I don't think it would be wise to turn down that deal. Leon Kowalski has 31 points in 40 games this season. Jesus. He's been a killer for Winnipeg. He put up 51 last year. Neil Bemstrom and Ryan Suter. What's up with this dude putting up a shitload of points? Ah, that's what it is. He's a really good offensive defenseman. Not really good, he's listed as a 12. But he's still only 23. Emil Bemstrom has just 6 points in 38 games this year. Has a 14 as a counter-attacking forward, which isn't that bad. Yeah, that Buffalo deal for Jack Quinn. I don't think we can turn that down. Look at those offensive stats already. Imagine Jack Quinn alongside Marco Rossi. Or Rossi. 13 points as a playmaker and a counter-attacking. I think we got to take that deal from Buffalo. We're going to take that. Jack Quinn in a 7th for Jared McCann. Works for me. Too good of a trade to turn down. And, you know, I think as well we're going to go for it. We're going to trade Oliver Tarnstrom and a 4th and give up Carey Price in return. Carey Price has been dealt to the New York Rangers. We're going to blow it up. Let's see. 9.26 in the AHL for Pablo Francouz. Reunited some teammates, exactly. Exactly. So, let me just take a look at the game ratings here. So, Quinn has not been a very good NHLer this season. We're going to send him down to the AHL for the rest of the season. We're still going to have to call up some people. Aside from that, you do have some people who have at least been decent, like McKay, Boone Jenner, Chevrolet, Atkinson, of course, Pavillier here now. So I don't think there's anyone else that we immediately need to look to get rid of. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Send down Tarnstrom for sure. Yeah, Madman, it's been a rough night, dude. It's been on my mind all night. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We need to call up one other dude just to kind of be here. Again, I'm trying to protect a lot of our younger dudes. I don't want to put anybody that actually has potential at risk, knowing that this team could suck. So I think our guy is going to be Martin Fasco-Rudis. So this team is, it's going to be interesting. I'm intrigued to see. We're actually below the salary floor by 2 million. Okay. Aha. I wasn't expecting that. Oof. Edge, we actually accidentally lost him in free agency. Because I was so focused on guys like Morgan Riley that I forgot to double check our younger players. So yeah, that's a mistake I won't make again. I can't call up some of our other guys. How much is Juice making? Alright, so we can call up Christian Juice. And we'll send down the Fasco-Rudis. Still saying our salary's at 58. Jesus. Aha. Yeah, we're gonna have to just pull off a quick deal here for some veteran on an expiring deal. Unless I can just sign a free agent the same day. Because, like, Vinny Trocheck... To be honest, we could cheese this, because, like, Vinny Trocheck, Kevin Hayes, and Charlie Coyle are here. So, Vinny Trocheck. How about... meet demand. Let's cut this down to 1 year. And then how about I give you, like, 5.2. How about I give you 5.5? How about I give you 6 million? How about I give you 6.5 million? How about I give you 7 million? There we go. We'll just sign Vinny Trocheck for $7 million. And that way we're above the cap. It's perfect. To be honest, there's really no reason to not just cheese this. Let's go sign Kevin Hayes as well. And Charlie Coyle. So let's meet the demand. Cut that back down to 1. Raise it by $1 million. Alright, Charlie Coyle will be signed for $6.7 million. And, or not Charlie Coyle, but, yeah, Charlie Coyle. Wait, what? Did that glitch out? I am so confused at what just happened. I am so confused. I thought that was Kevin Hayes. Yeah, it said Charlie Coyle, though. Oh, it said it down there. Well, I was looking in the wrong spot. I'm tired. So we did get Kevin Hayes, Charlie Coyle, Vinny Trocheck. Sweet. In terms of potential, by the way, Liam Ross is randomly there, but I have my max contract limit. Balls. Okay, so now the team. And Cholosky will stay, so that's 5. Let's send down Christian Juice here. Have to put him on waivers. We'll see if he claims. Or, goes through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I gotta send down one dude, which will be... yeah, let's just send down Logan Hutsko. We are not affiliated with an ECHL team. Okay, so we bring in the likes of Coyle, Trocheck, and Kevin Hayes. And again, if we choose to shop them too, we very well could. The funny thing is, we're still towards a playoff spot. Justin Schultz been swapped for Julian Gauthier. We are still closing in on a playoff spot. So it might actually be worth just seeing what this team can do up until deadline day. But I mean, it's Jenner, Carlson, Atkinson, Beauvillier, Rossi, Gusev, Mikheyev, Trocheck, Slepyshev, Fonstad, Hayes, Coyle. Defense is OEL, McDonough, Letty, Fowler, Cholosky, Lettinen, and then Hogberg and Francois as our goalies. So yeah, we when's the deadline? 24th? Yeah, 24th. I mean, right now we find ourselves 4 points back with a game at hand of LA. Despite selling, we could still make the playoffs, which means, you know, we've added Master Simone, Jet Wu, Oliver Tarnstrom, Sam Alfano. Like, we've added some guys that could be a big part of the team in the future. I don't know why it's saying Austin Swankler is a free agent, but I guess because he is. Do I have his rights or something? I don't even know. You know, I mean, again, you still look like we have Quinn, we have Rosen, we have Ratu, Nemesnikov, Master Simone, Stud, Bordeleau. We have a lot of guys who are going to be ready for next season, too. Hello, One Richard Head, how are you? A lot of guys who are going to be ready for next year, too. We have a first, a second, 2 fourths, and a 7th in this draft. Worst case, I think that's what we do, is just keep playing it by ear. I mean, it was a big risk to move on from Carey. But we can either shop the rest of these guys, or just wait it out a month, see what the hell happens, and take it from there. And again, like guys like Hayes, Trocheck, Coyle, we'll probably have the ability to shop them too if we need to. Like, it's still not the worst team in the world. We're not a great team. Probably shouldn't be a playoff team. But yeah, no, I think we just wait and see what happens. I think we go ahead and see what happens. Yeah, let's do that. I mean, that's been our strategy for the entire season. Is just play it by ear, see how it goes. It's what we're gonna do again. And yeah, we'll see if it works out for us here. Hope it does.